Okay, today I have something kind of exciting. Stephanie and I are kind of hijacking the videos again. And I thought it would be really cool to talk to some of our mentors because a lot of times Stephanie and I are on camera and we're like, oh, you can do it in an hour, you can do your fill in 30, this is what you charge. And people are like, BS, you can't do it. So I thought we would talk with people who are still in salon, who have a lot of experience, been with us for a long time, have a ton. I mean, I think they cover every aspect of what you can do in nails. They've done salon work, they've owned salons, they've taught in schools, they've done fashion shows, they've done this is the crew that I take for the Fenty shows. So I just want you to hear what they have to say, and maybe we can get some words of wisdom from them on people that are just starting out and what they suggest you should do. So should we get started?
Yeah.
I think maybe we should just start with introducing yourselves and like how long you've done nails.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Karen Hunnicky, and I just hit my 20-year mark as a nail tech, licensed nail tech.
Nice.
I'm Stephanie, and I've been doing nails for over 10 years. And
We just talked about
Yeah.
it. We're like,
trying to figure that one out. And I'm no longer in salon because I'm doing the social media with Young Nails, but still very active in the nail world.
And I'm Patty Carasosa. I've been doing nails for 31 years and licensed, and she helps me when I'm on vacation.
Right on. Hi, I'm Melissa Dela Cruz. I've done nails since birth. Actually, since I was 18, 26 years. You do the math. Still love it.
Johnny Locklear. I've been doing nails for 25 years. Still love it to this very day. Love being in the salon.
So I think one of the biggest things I want to talk about is not only how long you guys, been doing nails, but where did you start out at? Like, how long did it take you when you first started? And this is the best part. I want to talk about pricing because we get a lot of, well, that's because you live in LA area that you can charge that. So we have a full range of where you live. I get it wrong every time and she gets mad, so I'm not even going to say where you live. You can tell. I always say it's Wisconsin. So we can get a kind of a range. Prices do vary where you live. So how did you start? I mean, how long did it take when you first did your full set?
My first full set wasn't actually a full set. It was one hand. In school, so I was in school.
A full hand set.
A full hand, one full hand. So they paired me up with a senior student. So she did one hand, I did the other. She finished hers in, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half.
Dang.
3 hours later, I'm still working on one hand. So 3 hours later for one hand.
And how fast can you do it now?
It depends on what I'm doing,
Of course.
but my average set, hour, hour and a half.
Perfect.
And where are you?
Minnesota.
Man.
St. Paul,
Minnesota.
not Wisconsin. Sorry. Now
We say Wisconsin too.
How? Let's just kind of maybe go off of nude sets, like just an average active length nude set. That would take you about how long?
Hour.
And
At the
what do you typically charge for that?
My full sets start for just a clear. I start at where am I at? 85.
85.
Yep.
Do you charge for art?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
What's that?
I was like,
Show's getting violent now.
I don't charge for art.
We don't teach that.
You have
I just
to charge for art. That's your vacation money. That's your extra money. I always say that your full sets, your fills, that's your bread and butter. That's what pays your
Your
pays your
baseline.
rent. But your art is for your extra fun stuff.
It pays for our habits.
Right.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Now, of course, you get a lot of our experience, so we're going to skip you, Steph. I'm sorry, but ask questions. Patty.
Yeah, when I first started nails, I think I charged for a full set was $35, and I still lived in Orange County, but I live a little souther than where headquarters is, so it was like the Mission Viejo area at the time. And now I kind of like the world circled back around. I'm back in Mission Viejo. My full sets, same thing. They start about $85-$90 with just like a plain like concealer pink or like a nude or something like that. And I usually book everybody within an hour, in case, even if I'm a little quicker, but it doesn't. my clientele, you know, they kind of like your time and you've been with them for a long time. So I don't like to rush them and try to like bump back to back. So even if I'm done a little early, sometimes we're chatting or sharing pictures if someone went on a vacation or you
Patty's
can
a
book
talker.
them. And I am. Sorry, it's Spanish.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah, so I do. I mean, yeah. And if you get done early, I mean, like we can go to the bathroom, thank God, or something like that.
Eat,
Instead, yeah.
maybe.
But also too, like just even booking for an hour, if someone is like maybe, I don't let people run typically more than 10 minutes late, and I still can get done within that time.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a question then for you. If they run more than 10 minutes late,
They have to pay for their the full appointment that they missed, and bring in like if they want to book another one, and it has to be cash.
okay,
Yeah.
And I like that
Yeah.
cash. I never have cash.
So how do
I'm
you,
cash poor.
like, what would your response be to a client? You know, I text you and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be 20 minutes late.
And she's a repeat offender.
Yeah, like,
If,
verbally, how do you word
For
that?
a brand new client,
No, she's done it like this is her third time doing this.
depending on like how long we've been going out.
Because it's serious,
Yeah.
it's new.
And it'll be like, you know, I
Just not
get it,
itchy
like,
anymore.
yeah, like, you know, things happen, like, you know, kids get sick this time of year, it kind of just transfers down the family. I mean, sometimes I think it's your personal call, but most of the time, like my longtime clients that are, like if they do a repeat offender, I usually don't have to say anything, they just give me the money. But there's been the occasional of like I've had to like step up, but I've always had like some sort. I mean, I don't have the sign anymore, but because they're all just pretty much regulars. But I did have no cell phone sign and like the 24-hour like no show policy
And I
thing.
know.
Because
I
the whole
that's a
notion,
really
even
important
like that
thing,
cell
yeah.
phone, especially doing gels, I don't go. I'm not like I'm nice, but.
Patty communicates that. I know. Like if you're not happy about something, you're gonna know it
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I like that.
Sure,
And
yeah.
you definitely have a no small human policy, right?
Yes. No. Yeah. And if you
Diverse.
even though like I just kind of like if you don't want to make yourself look like the bad guy on like not having kids or whatever, I just say my insurance doesn't cover it. Like that, and plus right now I'm in a solo. Like Steph's been in there. I mean, we barely get it's myself and another nail tech, and then the customers, and that's barely like the only like we don't have time for or like space for like another person hanging out there either. Because most of the clients that when they come in to like check in, here I take up the camera, they wait outside. So I mean, like our area is small. So yeah, I just like you can blame it on your insurance or. Like the building policy, I mean, whatever you want, so it doesn't look bad on you, and they can't fight it if your insurance doesn't cover it. Then
Yeah. What are they gonna say?
yeah.
Cool. Great. Melissa, same question. Let's see. What are you? Nude set, active length. What are we charging?
Know how long my first set took?
Oh, no, that one. Do that one
It
first.
took me 2 days.
2 days. Who did you work on for 2 days?
On myself. So I filed on them for 2 days. They were so thick. It was a lot of work. So then on a person, it took me like 6 hours.
Yeah. And
Pretty
what
much.
is it now?
It depends on what I'm doing. So like an active set, 45 minutes. Medium length, depending on what I'm doing. About the same. It depends if they're getting art. So I book anywhere from 30 minutes for gel toes to, and usually I do it before then, and add that to the service. So if I'm doing like nails my length and gel toes, I'd book an hour and a half for like this kind of art. If it's a lot of art, 2 hours max, but they're paying for my time. I'm not just spending 2 hours and not making good money off of it.
Now, how do you deal with the fact? Because I know, all of you do, and you too, especially like dimensional nails. That's like your signature thing. How do you deal with clients just showing up and wanting something that you didn't book for? Like,
Okay, that doesn't happen. I didn't mean that bad, but the reason being is I explained to them, like if you like your nails changed out every appointment, they don't have to be. They still look nice. They could actually fill it and keep it, but they get obsessed with changing and they see your nails different. So they're like, I actually want what you have on. I know my clients that change all the time. I ask them, are you changing out? Therefore, I book that time. If they come to me at that appointment and they say they just want to fill it, they're going to pay me for the full price because they can't change it on me before 24 hours. And that's just respecting my time as I respect their time.
Right, and it's important for the client because they know that they're gonna get what they want fulfilled and be rushed or you're being honest, right? You're communicating like, I don't have time for that this time. Let's figure it out.
And I have to say that they respect you more when you have boundaries and you communicate with them. They are very mindful of your time and you. So if you're just kind of like, it's okay, they're gonna do it every time.
And I think that's something that nail techs, and especially newer nail techs, really struggle with.
It
is
is.
just having that open dialogue with your
Right.
clients. But you have to.
Because they
You
want
have
to get people in and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
well,
them
and
happy,
I mean, even long term, like if you're not that type of person, that it's
It is hard.
difficult to have that. It's
It's-
stressful, and you dread it, and you're sweating, and you just like, I'm gonna just let it go. But then it's there the next time, and the next
I
time.
think too, sometimes people like new techs and stuff, I think they think that the customers, and maybe some customers do think that we're just sitting there going, dee, like, just change a color and let's pick this and that,
Just
like
real
that.
quick, 5
But
minutes, just change my color.
but I think then after once they kind of come into you and they know, like, even if you want to, like, I don't know, even start out writing a book out and kind of like people kind of go, oh wow, this is like a business, or like if you approach it more like
You address it.
to like
And explain why.
treat it like a business,
Yeah,
right? If
like-
you're treating it like a business, then they're gonna treat
and you're
Exactly.
like, you know, like your station is put together and you're very professional about it, you know, the way you look dressed, the you know
that's huge.
the way that
That's
you know
100%
like
huge.
just I mean like you're the face forward of your business and your brand. Like, do you want to be like a hot mess? I kind of
Exactly.
don't,
I always
but
say, do you look like you were kidnapped, thrown in the
Yeah.
trunk, and taken away?
Exactly.
Not a good
so I
look.
mean, like, I think a lot of it too is just the way you present yourself. Then they can
Yeah.
take you more seriously. Plus, then they look at your like salon or like your station and how organized. I mean, if you're like a hot mess there and you're like, you know, I mean, they're not gonna go like, really, you can't like look
You
clean.
can't take 10 minutes. Yeah.
One of the girls in the class, she said, it's hard for
Class,
me.
what,
Our OWC class that we're teaching
That's
this
why they're
week.
here. They're actually teaching.
Yeah,
you.
she was saying, I feel like I'm rude if I say something. I don't want to be rude.
Mhm.
And I said, if you don't tell them what they're doing wrong or what they're lacking, they're going to be rude to you because you're not going to be able to do it right.
Yeah.
So if they're going like this and they could see your nails and you can't, you need to tell them, if you could see them, I can't. I won't be able to make them straight. It's not necessarily mean,
And
it's
it's nice.
communication.
It's like nice.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't know how to get their nails done. They're like this in the
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
You got to tell them, sit straight. I want your nails to be straight, but not mean. You could tell them why, so your nails are straight. You know, I
Yeah.
can't really do nails in a timely manner like that.
I also think a lot of times too in the service industry, clients get confused between servant and service.
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in the service industry. We are not your personal servants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
clients get confused about that as well. And I think
And that's
everybody
where
will
the
agree with
abuse
me.
starts.
Boundaries.
And that's where you have to make a boundary. You have to say, if you need this, you need to let me know 2 days in advance.
Yes.
Or
I like that.
Like, send me
like
a
with
picture
art,
on
send
like
me a
what
picture of
kind
what
of
you
art
need
you
a couple
want
days
or
back.
something like
And
that.
if
So
you
then
let
I
it
can.
slip,
if you continue to let it
it's just
slip,
gonna
they'll
get worse and worse and worse.
and then you will like
And I always
explode and say bad things. to
And
them.
we have to be.
If you hold it in.
Yeah, if you hold it.
You're like,
And
"I
it's
told you
vice
that."
versa, right?
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
to be respectful of their time and
Mhm.
being on time. Like
Yeah.
it goes both ways. Like
That
we
is
have
so true.
to.
You can't roll in late.
If we expect something out of our clients, we have to show that towards them.
Yeah.
100%.
I have one question for Melissa. What's the most expensive set you've done?
$350.
$350.
And she's my client today, and she changes her look every time. And she comes in 2 weeks. She's just obsessed. They don't even need to be done. But
And
that's okay.
Yeah. What is the average? I mean, like your average. If you're just
Okay, my
average day, what do you typically would be your average cost for the day with fill and bling and all that?
out of everybody, my
Like
our
just
makeup
average
day,
across. Like if you're just
Taking
looking,
home?
Yeah, no, what you would
Oh.
charge for that fill, blinged out nails. Like
Okay,
what
so
do you typically
the person I guarantee that like in a day, at least 5 of my people are going to pay me $125 to $165 because I do a lot of long nails and a lot of dimension. When you start doing it, you're going to want to charge because it's a lot of work, and then it makes it fun and creative, and it just takes it from there. So you have to charge
and
for it.
length.
And length does take a
Everything.
length and custom shaping. I have to say, there's
And
4
that takes
clients I
time.
have that I book 3 hours for. That's crazy, right? I have to spend 3 hours with them, but I actually like them. But
That's
they have wicked long nails, custom shape, and to me, I think coffin takes the longest. It just does. It has 3 points to it, and I go like this a lot to make sure they're straight.
Yeah.
So shape is already $35 on top of their rebalance price. Because if I have to shorten them, I have to totally reshape them again. So that takes me up to anywhere from 10 up to 20 minutes, depending on how long they are.
Yeah.
So most of the people I do for 3 hours, they're totally changing out their look. So I'm reshaping their nails and I'm doing their toes. And I'm usually left with like a 20-minute break and I need it after that
Yeah.
because I'm on the grind straight.
So I think the most important thing out of that is time is money.
Yeah.
So.
And you're your best judge of like, because once you kind of get the hang of it, like as a beginner, yeah, we freak out because, you know, it's like we've done 2 people and it's taken us like all day to do it. But I mean, like, you know, the practice hand is amazing because back in the day, we didn't have that.
No.
You know,
No, and we
that's
didn't
called
have
mom.
Yeah, or that like
We didn't
little
have
like
YouTube
wax
either.
thing.
We
That
had a
is
VHS.
terrible.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
VHS.
Yes.
Hold it, I missed it. Rewind.
Yeah.
Rewind.
honestly, what I have to say too, it's not about really what I'm charging. They may say, how much were your nails? Like, they may see their friend's nails and they'll say, oh my gosh, those are so beautiful. Every time they see your nails, like, how much was that set? $185?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
that's
not
crazy.
paying that. Then they see it again and they see it again and they see it again. They eventually come to you because they see your constant work on their friends that look amazing. When they sit in your chair, they know why you charge that much. They see the detail you do. They see your education that you have, that you're applying to them. They see the amount of time that you're not stopping, constantly working, and able to have a conversation and sign for the UPS guy, all that at once. So they understand when you're working on them, and then they're happy about it. They're proud that their nails, for some reason, are 185 or
And people compliment
whatever.
them.
It's
and
kinda like
they
a
get
purse.
addicted to
Yes,
that.
they get
Oh,
addicted.
for sure. Yeah.
They do.
So, Johnny,
Mm.
what was your first full set?
My first full set took me about 8 hours, and I used acrylic that only sat when you put it in warm water. We actually had this conversation this morning on the way
so
here.
odorless. Odorless.
Yeah, well, it was odorless. It was aqua nails or something. It's forever and always ago. So I remember sitting there, this client, these little round nails, and I would put the stuff on, and I'd put her finger in the water. And I'd do it again. It took me forever. I was freaking out. I think my anxiety was through the roof. I was sweating, but I was self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to school for nails. I taught myself.
Right. And
So
then
I
you went
did
to school.
nails for 2 years and then went to Cosmo school.
You got
and then
it.
I was like, I like nails better. I think I'm gonna stick with that. But just with practice.
Practice, honestly, your education and practice
Exactly.
and repetition.
Repetition,
Like, I honestly
definitely.
think after you take a class from us, or even after you watch a YouTube video of ours, that if you practice that for 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks, you're gonna have it.
I feel like for the first 8 years of my career, I still didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And I
But you
just
just
asked
you
you.
need it.
Yeah.
And you still have
We
your
just
same
had this
clients.
conversation. Habib asked Stephanie and I both yesterday. He said, because he does the memes, you know. So he gets me the meme, and then I write the copy inside, and we post it to Instagram. And he had this great meme with the explosion in the background, and he was like, "When was the first time? How long was it after you started doing nails? Was the first time that you were like?" Man, I got this. I'm a rock star, hands down. And I honestly looked. He was very frustrated with me, by the way, which is typical. I said, I really have never felt that way. I said, to this day, I still feel like people are going to figure out that I'm a fraud. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
But you still think that.
No,
Yes,
We're
I do.
sitting every day working. We, especially in the education industry, since we do teach people, we are even more critical of our work than anybody else.
Absolutely.
I look at
Yeah,
every shade,
that's so true.
every sidewall, every nick, every piece of dust that might have gotten in there that I've forgotten every single day,
Right.
But I
every
think
single client.
Part of why we're so critical of ourselves is because this industry is always changing.
It is changing.
My idea of a perfect nail 10 years ago.
Oh,
my
gosh,
gosh,
right?
it's
I
Right.
love telling the story about when I I submitted my application to Young Nails to be a mentor.
I wanna see the
I think about those pictures.
We should take those pictures.
Oh, do you have them?
I want to see my
Oh,
application.
I'm pretty sure we have.
No, seriously, at that time, I was like, these are the best
That's
nails
the
I
best
can
I
nails
thought
I've
they
ever
were
done.
too.
And
Yeah.
now
Too.
think of
I was
them
on
like-
the ground going, come on, hold a bottle of Young Nails, hold up, cha-ching.
I'm going to go get this developed.
And they're all like,
Right.
yeah, developed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
So, Johnny, now, full set, how long?
Full set, short nude, 50 minutes to an hour. Anything over a 1 or 2 on the form, I start to charge for length
Okay.
because it takes time.
Yeah. And where are you located?
I live in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So my full sets start at 65,
65.
which is a good price in my area.
Yeah.
So 65 starting price. Anything beyond that, I start to add.
Yeah.
I start to add. You want to go to a 4 on the form, it's $10 extra. You want to go to a 6 on the form, it's $20 extra. So if you want all that, because that starts to take time.
And
Well,
product.
did you do that right away though? That's that question
No,
for all of you. Did
I
you
did
guys charge
not.
for your, and how hard was it to switch?
You know why I didn't do it right away? I was so excited. I was so excited that I had this stuff that I could put on their nails, and I was just buying it like a crazy person. I want all the glitters and all the mylars and all the things and the hearts and the stars and the green clovers and the horseshoes. Oh, there's more stuff. So when I got it, I was so excited to be able, with my training with Young Nails, or with even being introduced to Young Nails products, to learn how to put that medium into my nails, that I just wanted to give it away.
Yeah.
I was like, watch what I can do with this. Bam, there's a drop of blue in there. We have a new color.
That's
So-
interesting.
Yeah. So when
Yeah, I
I
think
first started, it
I was the
was
same.
I was
was
so
excited.
obsessed and so excited. Anything that I could encapsulate into a nail, I was trying to buy. It didn't work. You know, it came from Young Nails, Michaels, Family Dollar.
And I
I
started
opposite.
raising my prices too when I first started with Young Nails too.
Right.
And I remember Melissa, this was years ago, she would say, just like tell them it's gonna be an extra $10 and pretend you're just cleaning up and don't look at them. That's what I did, like all day long. I'm all
Don't
like
look
that.
them in the
Oh,
eye.
yes, I'm all like, don't make eye contact. It's $10, that's true.
And
I
you know
would do
what
that all the time.
You know
like,
what I
empty
would do
out
if
trash.
my client asked for something kind of extra special on top of what they were getting? I would do it, but I was like, this should be an extra $5, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So I start to build that
You were
into their
training
head.
them.
So I'm training them as I'm like, I'm gonna put this glitter on, but I'm gonna give it to you free today, but it's gonna be extra $5
Just like
next
a
time.
drug
See, mine was completely
You want some of
different.
this crack? Here you go.
What's
My first class was actually your first class you taught. Okay,
Yes.
so at that time,
That's right.
pink and whites were really hot. Like all my clients, they were pink and white, red, or pink nails. That's it. That's all there was. So I started using Young Nails product and noticed it didn't change color. And I'm like, oh my God, they have classes? I took your class and you were saying, charge this, charge that. I was only going to go there for one class, ended up paying for the next day because I was obsessed. But I had to charge for it because they told me to, but really because I maxed out my card because I bought everything. And I had to drive home for 4 hours because I'd come to LA for the class. My palms were sweating. I was like, Merry Christmas, Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm charging. And I started
And
charging.
how are you gonna like tell this to your
I
husband?
had
like,
to charge.
How to put
Yeah.
But you know what? At first, people didn't have a problem with it. They loved it. So if they wanted it, they just paid for it.
Yeah.
So I never experienced not wanting to charge them because I kind of had to because I needed to pay that bill off.
Well, I'm so
But
nice.
that's great that you say that because
Yeah.
most people we talk to in class or when we encounter them, they love doing it so much
They
they
just
feel
wanna
bad for
do it.
charging.
Yeah.
You love doing it so much, you
Yeah.
just want to
Yeah.
look what I can do. Look what I can
Yeah.
accomplish. Let me show you how I can do this. You'll
Yeah.
love me because I can.
Yeah, because you're
But
gonna
at the
feel
end of the
pretty
day,
really-
we spent the money for the product.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
there's-
we collected all the diamonds and the jewelry and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So you have to charge for it because you paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for most of us who are in this industry, it is our bread and butter money. It's the mortgage money. It's the gas tank money. It's the grocery store money. It's not because we want to.
And
sit
you'll
there and
come
be
in
pretty.
time, I think, too, in your business because it's happened to me where it's been, I don't know, 3 years or so that you haven't raised your prices and your clients are telling you.
Yeah, actually,
Have you
people
gone up on
say
your
that and
prices
they
And
yet?
say,
they're
"No."
like, you know
Yeah.
what? You need to raise it. And they'll like already
Okay,
add
right
like
now.
$10 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I have
tomorrow
clients
is
do
the
that all
sign's
the
going
time.
up.
When I
I'm
come
all
back
like,
from
they-
California,
that's
I'm
how-
charging you extra.
Yeah.
I think the important thing is, and what we kind of teach, and Steph and I talk about all the time on videos, is there is something for everybody. If they don't want to pay for the art, that's totally cool. There's beautiful nude nails. That's,
Yes,
they
there
can get
is.
that. You know,
Really
I have something for everybody.
You don't want to pay for the art, then you don't get the
You don't
art.
get, you don't get the supreme pizza or a cheese pizza.
Yeah. You don't get the broccoli with the fillet.
You
The
don't
fillet comes by
a
itself.
la carte. And we thought it would be kind of fun to talk about maybe some funny stories or maybe some terrifying nightmare stories that we've had in Salon because we've all experienced them all in good fun. We're not, we appreciate our clients and we probably have done a lot of stupid things ourselves. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do and go around. And Karen, you were saying you don't have any
I
stories
can't
for
think
us.
of anything right off the top
Are
of my
you
head.
serious?
Nothing.
You guys tell stories, and I'm sure something.
It'll
Something
come
for
to
you.
us.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Steph, you got one?
I mean, there's been like a few. I've definitely had some drunk clients.
Oh, I have
Which is
too.
always fun.
That's
Like,
fun.
it's fun, and then the best was like when they're like, "Oh, I love my nails!" Like the next day, like they were like surprised at the nails. But then I'm like, "Whoa, we were full send, huh?" Like,
And actually, you were telling Habib and I yesterday about clients divulging a little too much.
I don't. Yeah. I think it's something to do with you're holding their hands.
Yeah.
So there's like this false sense of comfort, and like like,
I'm dating kind of.
yeah, like I'm a little more conservative,
We're
I
both
guess.
dating.
And yeah, there's a
Two
lot
friends
of
both.
sex stories that are shared at the nail table. One of my favorite though was the salon I was most recently working in. My coworker did eyelash extensions, and she was in like this little kind of cubby part of the salon, so people never knew she was in there.
Oh.
And so people would come in and they would want to tell me their stories, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so that was probably one of my favorite things, was that they would like blurt out a story, you know, like, oh my
People
god, I
do
went.
trust you.
Yeah, and you know,
100%.
there a lot of time it is your friends, and so they're like, oh, you know, I went with this guy this weekend, and da da da, and I'm like,
No,
there's a
there's
teacher
other
in there
people-
getting her eyelashes
Yes.
applied, and you just shared that with all of us.
Your
so.
first grade teacher.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, yeah.
I could be the little town that
So
you were
Exactly.
Mom!
Yeah,
Mom.
so the salon talk is definitely a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I
It's
agree.
interesting.
Yeah.
How about you, Patty?
This was I think my husband, we were dating, so this was like over 20 years ago. So it's when I used to do like I don't do that many pedicures anymore, but I was doing a pedicure and I was getting like you know, she came in, it's Eleanor, she's a little lady and stuff, and so I noticed she had stockings on. So I go, Eleanor, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom and remove your stockings. So I finish, like I'm setting up her tub, and I hear people screaming in the background, like by the bathroom. I go over to see what's happening, and she's full out, like humming out in her underwear. Yeah, and her little granny panties. She's like coming out on, and I grab like my manicuring table. They're not that big, our nails, like our tables that small. But Eleanor, you forgot your pants on, honey. Like you gotta go like to the bathroom. And she's looking down at her. She goes, for heaven's sakes, like that, and she just like swallows down. I'm all like, oh my gosh, she just gave the whole salon like a show.
That is so cute.
No.
You know what? I want that kind of confidence. I
Yeah.
want to be able to walk out.
I like
She
that.
got yours. And
Yeah, she was so cute. I don't know where
Aw.
Eleanor is, but yeah,
In heaven.
probably.
Probably, yeah.
Melissa, I know you have.
I have many, but I feel like the best one I could share that I think's funny to me, I crack up, but just not in front of their face, when they say they're getting these high dollar nails from me. Girl, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent.
It's true.
I don't know, my car payment was due and and I'm like, girl, it's gonna work out. It always works out. And I'm inside dying, and why is she coming to me? But
Right.
it's not, the best advice I could give you is, it's not my fault that they don't pay for their bills, but they pay for their nails.
Yeah.
As long as they're paying me.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's gonna work out.
It's,
like,
that
you
I
shouldn't
think
feel bad.
happens a lot. I have more crazy ones, but I should stay mellow with it a little bit. How about you, Johnny?
Oh my gosh, the first thing that popped into my head was when I first got ready to come to Young Nails for mentor qualifications. And I had this older lady, she was in her 90s, very worth collection, very French twist every week. And she sat at the table, she said, you go because you are better than them. She did. She fascinated. That's just the first thing that popped into my head.
That is beautiful.
That's a good memory to
That
have.
is a
Like-
good memory, right?
That is
remember that
awesome.
every day.
100%
Yeah.
awesome.
You
No,
just go.
Now that I'm thinking about this skit, I'm like,
Yeah, I have
maybe we
another.
should have shared some of our funniest Young Nails mentor stories.
Oh,
No,
Oh, God, no.
That would require like several bottles of wine.
We'll get in
And-
trouble.
What about the
Get
client that
fired.
comes in and she's for a change out. She wants to change out her look. She comes in, girl, I gotta be in LA in 45 minutes. LA is like gonna take you 45 minutes to get there, so don't rush me on your service.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pay me for their service. They're either gonna be late or they're gonna reschedule and pay me for my time. That happens a lot.
I bet, yeah.
And
they're,
I'm
and they're
fast.
already late. And they
They're
show up
already,
late.
I gotta be in LA in 45 minutes,
No,
but you're
not
gonna be
today.
late.
You
You know,
might want to make a call.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny that once we get clients that have been with us so long, we become very matter-of-factly with them.
Yes. Yeah.
So they sit down.
Sometimes too much, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I found myself doing that sometimes. Like Tracey, geez,
Yeah.
just because you know this person, and it usually the person that does not deserve it is the person you blow up on.
Yes,
Mhm.
because they're the last client of the day and they were 5 minutes late. You go, you're always late!
Yeah.
That happened to me at the holidays, actually.
Yeah, well, how about when they say, "Oh, I know you work so much, and you figured you could use a break,"
No,
or
I didn't want
they're
a break.
like,
I
"I
wanted to
got
be
you
here."
a coffee."
No,
you
you
don't
didn't.
need a coffee.
And they're 10 minutes late because they got the coffee.
But
They
the
would
only
do that.
reason why they bought it is because they were going to be late and they wanted a coffee.
Yeah, they were in the
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, they
Or
would
you're
do that
not
to
feeling
me.
sick, but you can go home after you're done.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the best.
Or you need a vacation. Now
You
that's
look
not
like-
going to affect my appointment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going on my week.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you're not feeling well, and
Yeah.
they're like, "You should go
You look
right
like
after
you have
me."
a fever. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
But you can, like, you'll be done in an hour. You'll be home in an hour.
Just puke to the side. Puke to the side.
Right.
Yeah, I think my grossest part that I learned, the number one important lesson to learn when you do pedicures: do not chew gum.
Oh no.
Stop!
It went in your mouth and you chewed it.
Stop!
Oh, Trey, no
Stop
wonder.
talking right now.
She's like crunch.
And then I think the other one that comes to mind is I came to work. I was off for a couple days. It was back when I shared a table when I first started, and it was probably, I don't know when this actually happened, but one of the girls' clients was there, and she looked at me and said, "Oh, I am so sorry for what I did to your chair, on your chair, the last time I was here, because she used my chair to sit on." And what's funny is that nail tech never told me anything about it. She cleaned whatever, because she wouldn't tell me. They didn't tell me what happened to my chair.
Oh God.
I don't think I want to
I don't
know.
wanna know.
I replaced the chair. But I just thought it was funny that the nail
That
tech
is
never said a
interesting.
word, and the client brought it up.
Yeah.
Do we all have a chair story? I have a chair story.
I
Because something bad has happened.
I've never had a chair story.
I do. Remember the
Oh, I got a
lady?
chair
Melissa
story.
has remember the lady? She came to her appointment, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" She's like, "Well, I've been entertaining firefighters in the shower all morning." I was like, "Entertaining firefighters?" She's like, "Honey, I slipped and I couldn't get up, so the fireman had to come in the shower."
Like my life, totally.
So
Like
she was exhausted because she is so sweet. I loved her.
I've had a client actually it wasn't my client, it was Lori's client that next to me. She was so like I don't know if she was like wasted on whatever. Literally, she kept sliding
Off the chair?
I
Yeah.
Jill
We literally had to
somebody
like put her on the side so her knees would hit the side of the table to
Kept
kind of
going.
like anchor her.
Get a
So-
car
so
seat.
and she would look at me and she's all like, "Hey, Patty." And I'd be like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Sit up straight.
Yeah. My
Here's
concern
some
was always
coffee.
like when they would leave. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
are they driving? Like
Yeah.
is somebody
Yeah,
picking
you have,
them?
Oh, God.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you feel responsible. So
Of
you need
course.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
And I'm,
least they not calling saying, I can't come to my appointment.
Yeah, she's
because
like, I'm
drunk.
coming in.
yeah, they made it.
No matter
I
what.
am drunk today and I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
Or they'll come in with like a Coke or like a Slim Fast and it's not really
Mhm.
like what's in there.
Had
7-Up.
I have
several
wine
clients
coffee
that
cup
do it.
clients
The
too.
Pepsi can, man. It
Ooh,
just like-
Pepsi's real good.
Yeah.
That's a good cover-up.
Okay. On that note, we're gonna end it, but I appreciate it again, guys. Some
Yes,
funny
this
stories,
is
and maybe eventually we'll do a mentor story one. We'll see.
We don't know
We'll
about
have to
that.
talk about
we'll-
it.
We'll get in trouble.
Some funny
We will,
stories.
we will all the day after be fired, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
We weren't on the clock when this stuff happened.
What happened was.
What happened was.
With that, thank you guys for tuning in, and let us know what you thought.